They have Ant-Man, right? He's going to need some help. The Lakers have LeBron and Luka. What determines this series?
Well, listen, Minnesota's going to have to really up their game on both ends of the floor. Defensively, they're going to have to be better than solid. They're going to have to be elite. Luka has had his way with them. We all know what he did against them in the Western Conference Finals, and that was without LeBron James as a teammate. Now you've got LeBron James, and the way LeBron James has been playing, he's been playing for a few of these months like an MVP candidate, for crying out loud. So when you look at it from that standpoint, the Lakers are definitely formidable. We understand this, and Minnesota's going to have their work cut out for them. What I'm interested in seeing, Hannah, is this. Anthony Edwards, the Ant-Man, is a superstar in this game. There are moments where he has looked Jordan-esque. He's improved his three-point shooting. He can get to the hole at will, and he can elevate against anybody. And in a game of this magnitude, he's going to be required, or a series of this magnitude, he's going to be required to be a superstar. He can't just show up and be a star. He can't just show up and be a little bit better than average. In order for Minnesota to win this series, he is going to have to cement himself on an elevated level. We already know how terrific he is, but it's going to be called upon for him to give a little bit something more in order to knock off both Luka and LeBron. I don't think he can do it, but I think he can do enough to stretch this series to 6 or 7 games. I think he'll average over 30. I just don't know if anybody's going to help him for offensively.
Yeah, like what about Julius Randle? Wouldn't that be nice if he would step up in the playoffs? Yes.
That would be nice. That would be nice. I believe in him, though, but it would be nice.
I know.
It's going 7 games. Anthony Edwards is like that. Anthony Edwards is waiting. And when I think about him, he is, S.A. And when I think about Minnesota, think about this. The last part of the season, we saw a chemistry, and they started to develop a chemistry. And I'm talking about Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. Julius Randle has been playing some phenomenal basketball for them. Okay, now you move over to who are the Minnesota Timberwolves? They're a bunch of dogs defensively. So they got a defensive identity that when they're locked in, they're a problem. Okay, you mix in a nice. Go ahead.
Perk, but my problem is formidable as they are defensively, Luka's the dude that they have no answer for. We know what he's done to the Minnesota Timberwolves now. We know that.
I know, but think about this, right? I want you to think about this. It's a lot different now with Luka versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Here's why. Luka thrives at his best against teams when he have what? A legitimate lob threat. See, people didn't understand this last year. The reason that things were so wide open for Kyrie Irving and Luka in that Minnesota Timberwolves in that series last year in the Western Conference Finals was because of Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. Yes, right? It's a different type. Like, is Jackson Hayes gonna be that? Right? Like, I just can't see it. Although he's been playing some good basketball, I just don't see it happening. So now all of a sudden it's a Luka that's gonna have to solely be set on step back threes, because that's why he was wanting the live threat so bad on a consistent basis.
Houston or Golden State, who would have the better chance versus the Los Angeles Lakers, and why?
It would be Golden State, to be honest.
Lakers and the Wolves tee off this Saturday in L.A. for Game 1 of the opening round of the NBA playoffs. The Lakers fared well against the Wolves this season, going 2-2 on the year, including a 111-102 win in their last regular season match. LeBron had 33 points, 17 rebounds in that game, while Ants night ended early with an ejection after dropping a cool 18. Ryan Windhorst, tell me this. Who is the most important player in the Lakers versus Wolves series?
It's Anthony Edwards. He should be looking at this like a golden opportunity. The Lakers got a lot of things going for them. Their perimeter attack, their different ball handlers, they've showed that they've built some depth. They are not great on the perimeter defense, and they do not have a basket defender. J.J. Redick has been taken out Jackson Hayes 5-6 minutes into the game. He can't wait to get Dorian Finney-Smith into that lineup because of how much it helps them offensively. But he is not a basket defender. This is Ant Edwards' time to shine, and they're going to need it. You know, last year when he played in the conference finals, they went through that grinder against the Nuggets in the second round. He was exhausted. I covered that series. He didn't have anything. Luka averaged 33 points a game in that series. Ant didn't even score 30 once. In that series against the Nuggets, he had 2 40-point games. He was a huge impactful player. He didn't have a great Game 7, but was hugely impactful. He just didn't have any gas left in the tank. That's not going to be the case here. He's going to be rested, and there are obviously going to be role players that play a factor here, but for the Wolves to pull this off, especially having to come out here to L.A., where the Lakers are one of the best home teams in the league, Ant Edwards needs to be awesome. He needs multiple 40-point games. He needs to be the best player on the court, outplaying LeBron and Luka several times in this series if the Wolves are pulling this off.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that, though, Wendy, because I think Minnesota will be competitive. He is going to play well in this series. He'll be motivated by LeBron and Luka. He's going to score his 35 a game in this series. I'm assuming that. I'm going to assume that. I think for the Timberwolves to win, show up. He has not been a good postseason player. He was awful with the Hawks 3 years ago. Now, last year he was hurt. We give him a little break. He was not good against Miami when they lost in 6 2 years ago. This trade, I mean, let's face it, the Knicks have won a trade here with Karl Anthony Towns. They need Randall here to have a chance to win. I'm assuming Anthony Edwards is going to be great. I'm assuming that. Now, if I'm wrong, you'll be right. Different case. I think he's going to score 35. He's going to get his points. Randall has to be really, really good. I'm not sure if he's capable. I think if he is really good, they got a chance to win. So I'm going to say Randall for Minnesota, the most important, for an upset.
I think that Randall is important. I think that he will show up. I think that he'll produce to a degree, but I still think that Minnesota will lose this series. Having said that, I've said this before and I said it again. Anthony Edwards has arrived. This brother can be Jordan-esque. It is special to watch this brother play. And outside of his actual game, what you love is his moxie, the fact that he embraces the challenge. He goes after it. When the lights get bright, he doesn't shrink. He wants it. He wants the smoke. And certainly if that was the mentality that you had before, this ain't Kevin Durant as great as Kevin Durant is. This ain't KD with Booker and Beal. This isn't even Jokic, Murray. I'm talking about from a box office perspective, the sizzle. It doesn't get much better than Luka and LeBron on the same damn team. And you're going up against them, and you're the lone star on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I believe Anthony Edwards, this is his moment. Of all the moments that he has had, this is it right here. I think this brother is going to show up. I think he's going to show out. I think that he is going to average over 30 in this series. Now, J.J. Redick will do what he can because I think he's proven to be a damn good coach, and he's a Coach of the Year candidate. And Nate McMillan, rather, and Scott Brooks. And I mean, listen, he's got a great coaching staff, all of them. Any name that I didn't mention, I apologize. There's a few others over there that do a great job for him as well. But I'm telling you right now, it's hard to have an answer for Anthony Edwards, especially a motivated Anthony Edwards. He knows he can't show up in this series in Tinseltown, and you're the one that shrinks? Nah, he ain't built like that. He's showing up.
You know, Ant Edwards led the NBA in three-pointers made this year.
Yeah.
That was not something I saw come at the beginning of the year. So the three-pointer is big. And, the three-pointer is important for L.A., too, particularly with their role players because of the way that J.J. Redick wants to play. Don't fall in love with the three, though, Ant. Go to the hole because the Lakers' rim defense is going to be a challenge for them.
He's going to be a showstopper.
Don't bail him out with those three.
He can't be a showstopper if he's just shooting threes. He knows he's got to put on the show, and he will.
Gentlemen.
100% echo your sentiments about Jeff Van Gundy. He's a head coach in this league. He deserves to be a head coach in this league. He's an exceptional coach. All right, and a great basketball mind. And Ty Lue can't stop raving about the job that he has done in Los Angeles, helping him and helping that Clippers defense. That's number one. But I ain't mentioning Jeff Van Gundy without mentioning my man Mark Jackson, who everybody's forgotten about, who should be a head coach in this league. All right, and it's a damn shame that somehow, some way, that has not happened in over a decade. Having said that, the interesting answer to this question to me is the Lakers against Minnesota, and here is the reason why. I love stars, man. And I ain't thinking about Luka and LeBron. I know what they're going to bring. I know what Anthony Edwards is going to bring, too. But what can he bring? The operative word is can. I think that in this series, with Minnesota being the underdog, clearly being counted out by most of the basketball world because we saw what Luka did in the Western Conference Finals to the Minnesota Timberwolves last year, and that's when he was a Dallas Maverick. And now you got LeBron James as your teammate. As far as I'm concerned, everybody's counted Minnesota out. You see the kind of attitude Ant-Man plays with? I mean, and that's when he's a favorite. I mean, when you count this brother out, he elevates. And I believe that's what he is going to do in this series. Whatever we've seen from Anthony Davis in the past, I believe, Doggy, he is going to eclipse that in this series. Will it be enough to beat the Lakers? No. But I believe he's going to push this to likely a 6-game series, maybe even a 7-game series, because I believe that Ant-Man, who can be Jordan-esque at times, is going to show up and show out. Anthony Davis, y'all better get y'all popcorn ready. The Ant-Man is coming, and I think he's going to be sensational. That's why I'm interested in that series.
I will three-peat what these two said about Van Gundy. Remember, my old radio partner and I were shocked when Dave Checketts, when Riley left, brought in Don Nelson and did not promote Van Gundy as his head coach. What happens 40 games into the season? They fire Don Nelson, and what do? They bring in Jeff Van Gundy. So, and he was a great analyst. Let's not forget that, too. He was great on TV. Not good. Not good. Great. Funny. Great. But I'm with Wendy on the scenario with the series. I love the Clippers series, too, with Denver. You know, the Clippers are only a slight underdog in this series. They're plus 120. Minnesota.